What's up, YouTube? Bay Area Baller back again. 5 guys in a pod coming at you. Don't move a muscle. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. 5 guys and a 6-pack coming at you. We're going to talk some NFL. And first off, we got to introduce ourselves. Jonathan, I haven't met you before. My name's Eric. Welcome to the podcast. Why don't you introduce yourself? I don't know if you're sipping on a little something or not, but
It's good to meet you. Jonathan from Dallas, Texas. My 3rd time being on the show. And I think Crypto already knows I'm not a big drinker. Just got through with the workout. So I got a cup of water and I also got a nice lean body protein shake, 40 grams of protein, trying to make sure we stick with the gains.
I heard that. Randon, how you doing and what you sipping on?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. It's good to be back. I know I've missed the last couple of weeks and everything like that. There's a local brewery here in Fort Worth called Funky Picnic. And the beer I'm drinking is Bob. We had a baby. It's a boy. It's an Imperial IPA, 7.7%.
Love that name.
Yeah, they're pretty creative with all their names. So, yeah.
So I had a crappy day until I went on lunch and I saw Grant Cohn and Lowell Cohn do their show again for the first time in a while. And I was so happy that cheered me totally up. Shout out to Lowell, way to get back on the horse. You know what I mean? I am drinking Voodoo Ranger Juice Force IPA. I showed this one off a couple weeks ago. The Giants should know about this one. I told them off. I told them exactly what they need to do after drinking one of these. So hopefully good times tonight.
Waruna, how you doing? What you sipping on?
I'm doing great. Just having a Budweiser. About Lovell coming back, I tweeted out the best news in the office.
Hey, this is the good old American classic Budweiser. I see you. Hey,
they say it is the king of beers for a reason.
Yeah, but don't bring that abroad. I wouldn't go to Europe bringing a bunch of Budweisers with you. They might start clowning on you.
Well, now wait, let me give you a little history. So, Czechvar is a Czech beer that had a lawsuit against Budweiser for a very long time because they said Adolphus Bush the First or whatever stole the recipe from Czechvar. And that lawsuit got thrown out of court when InBev bought Anheuser-Busch back in the 2010s because you can't sue your own entity. So Budweiser's recipe was stolen from a beer named Czechvar. If you go to Europe, just have Czechvar.
Okay. Thanks for the pro tip. Pro tip from Crypto. Hey, first topic. There's still some free agents out there that I'm looking at saying, ooh, these guys are looking good. So I want to ask you, remaining NFL free agents, who's one who you got to pay and one who you're saying stay away, meaning you don't really like them? So, Jonathan, why don't you start us off? You got a free agent that you got to pay and maybe one, hey, stay away.
Yes, sir. I love this topic. It's right. It's very topical too. Right before the draft, you got some guys out there that can probably get a good value on at this point too. One guy that I was thinking about, kind of off the beaten path, was Tyreek Cohen. You know, a couple years ago, he flashed huge in Chicago, and he's that perfect marriage you need for, like, if you have a young quarterback that needs a quick dump down weapon that can take the ball 60 yards on a screen or a quick little Texas route or slant. It's not going to do much for you in the running game. But as far as that third down, dump off option, punt returner, kick returner, you can get him probably on a 1-year minimum deal, just kind of a prove-it deal. He's coming off of an ACL tear, which you hate to see. But he did take all last year off, so he has fresh legs and he's ready to go. So I would love to see him get a chance to kind of get a prove-it deal and see what we can do. You know, I'm a big fan of Dallas, and we have a guy here in Tony Pollard that when he touches the field, it's lightning. It's just a different speed that he's playing at. And I think Tariq Cohen has that exact same ability in his legs.
Hey, John, I'm curious, as a Dallas fan, like, is it the consensus that Tony Pollard is just a better, more dynamic running back than Zeke Elliott at this point? Or how do you feel about that?
Key word you just said there was dynamic. So when it comes to that big play ability, we don't think Zeke has that ability to break off that 60-yard run like he did in his rookie year, whereas Tony Pollard for sure can break off that 60-yard run. He showed us time and time again. But if you need a blocker, hard-nosed runner, a guy that's going to play within the scheme, knows the scheme, that's when you have your guy Zeke. He was playing on an injury last year that was pretty obvious. I know it happened pretty early in the season, but he's been hearing the talk and he's been hearing the negative, the naysayers on him saying that he's going to get cut next year. So he wanted to play through that injury and show that he was tough. But I think him playing through the injury kind of held us back. Whenever Tony Pollard would touch the ball, he would show you that explosive ability, whereas Zeke was kind of hampered by the injury. But if you give him a full offseason to rehab, I bet he's going to be that guy again. I love the 1-2 punch because if you have, say it's 4th and 1 at the goal line, I'm trusting Zeke over Pollard. But if I have 3rd and 15, I'm putting Pollard out there and giving him the little screen pass to see what we can do with it.
Okay, I feel you. Let's go to Randon. Randon, let me know. You a NFL free agent who you got to pay, maybe one, they should stay away.
Yeah, let's start with the stay away this time. And I think it's just mainly because of what I believe he's going to be asking for, and that's Julio Jones. You look at, AJ Green coming off injury in a bad year in Cincinnati, got paid $8 million by Arizona, and it didn't really work out too well. He wasn't able to be the number one guy when Hopkins went out, and so you were literally paying him $8 million to be a side receiver, mainly because they had Christian Kirk on a rookie deal. And so if Julio Jones is only asking for maybe $2 million or $3 million because he's still getting all his guaranteed money from Tennessee because of the dead money, because when they cut him, and he's going to go ring chasing, then that'd be somebody that I would look for, maybe in a location like Tampa Bay or something like that, getting $2 million and chasing a ring with Brady. As far as the gotta pay, I'm going to go Stephon Gilmore, and I think the Indianapolis Colts would be a perfect team to go for. You look at for turnover differential, they were number 2 in the league in turnover differential last season. They had 19 interceptions, but none of their corners are getting paid big money. They were doing it mainly with the pass rush and being opportunistic. They have good safeties over there. And so having Gilmore be a player that they can sign for a 2-year deal, pay some decent amount of money, and give Matt Ryan the best opportunity they can to win another championship, I think that'd be a great destination for Gilmore, not only to be the number 1 corner, but to see a chance at hoisting the Lombardi.
So you're thinking Gilmore to Indy, huh?
I think I know he's being talked to with the Rams. I don't know if Indy is even interested in him. I just think that they already have a good turnover differential. Matt Ryan, I think, is going to be better than the last couple of years that he was on the Falcons. And so it could really shore up that defense, especially with a high turnover differential team, and they like to run the football. I mean, the time of possession is going to be extremely in their favor, and they're going to win a lot of games like that, especially with Matt Ryan behind center.
I know. And you know what? Even your stay away guy, Julio Jones, I kind of like him in Indy. Relink up with Matt Ryan in the dome.
If it's $8 or $9 million, I say no. But if he's willing to take 2 or 3 because the fact that he's going to go ring chase, it makes sense for me. I was just mainly doing it as a money thing, not a talent thing.
No, absolutely. And that's what this is about. I mean, all these players, the remaining free agents, more than likely, the ones at the top of the list deserve to be in the NFL, but it's cost-wise. Is it cost efficient? Why don't we move over to crypto? Crypto. Oh, you're looking sharp, my man. I like the new cut. Trimmed up the beard. Man, you're looking sharp.
Thank you, bro.
Hey,
so
gotta pay, stay away. Who you thinking?
Gotta pay Tyrann Mathieu. He was down to take 7. That's a steal. That's a freaking steal. I don't know who posted it, but somebody posted a video of him talking to his, I guess, alma mater, and he was pretty much saying, like, I'm not in it for me. I'm in it to push everybody else and make everybody else better, because I like standing back and watching everybody else bloom from my help and my work. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, for $7 million, you're going to get that play on and off the field. That's totally worth it. You know what I mean? Anybody can really revitalize their defense as long as, I don't think anybody's got two starting safeties with his talent. So I think he could go anywhere and really help a team for not much capital. Stay away. I actually was going to say Stephon Gilmore. He wants the bag, and I don't know if he's worth all of it. I wouldn't stay away if the contract was totally fine for me and I could
and
that's
what it's about. It's like Gilmore deserves to be in the league, but it's the cost, right?
Yes. So if he's getting, certain, like a lower amount of guaranteed, and everything else is, on production, you know what I mean? And then I'm okay with that, because if he tanks, then I'm only paying him $3 million. You know what I mean? I'm only paying him $3 million for it. You know what I mean? Because all that other money that he could have got would have been him producing well. And if he's not producing well, then he's not getting paid.
Got it. Why don't we move over to Waruna? Waruna, thank you for your patience. I saw your reaction, man. Did you get sniped right now by crypto?
Yes. Basically, those are the two players I had in mind. So now I hate you, right?
You sniped both of his guys. Ooh.
Yes. So, but okay. Thinking, I'll leave out those two players. Now, the player that I would pay, Eric Fisher. Because,
the tackle.
Yes, the tackle. Because there are so many teams struggling with when it comes to protecting their quarterback. We saw from Trevor Lawrence to even Jimmy Garoppolo, pass protection, terrible. Even the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow, terrible. So I would pay. So if a team needs to protect their quarterback, I would pay that. When it comes to the guy who I don't want to pay, I mean Antonio Brown, for obvious reasons, but I leave him out. But there is this other guy, Odell Beckham Jr. I'm not going to pay him that. Yes, even last season I got wrong about him, but still, I'm not going to pay him a fortune, because I think I can find decent enough talent elsewhere without paying.
Why weren't you been drinking some of this?
Okay, now for mine.
Shot fired.
Stay away. You guys hit on him. Julio Jones. I'm saying buyer beware. This guy's been dinged up the last couple of years, had a hard time staying on the field. So I'm staying away from Julio unless he's like dirt cheap. Then I got a few players who I don't really think are very good anymore, quite frankly. I think they're washed up. All right, Richard Sherman.
Yes.
I'd leave him out on the free agent market, okay? I saw kind of what he's became in his last year with the Niners. Man, he was never, blazing speed. Obviously, the mental game's there. He's really smart. But the physical tools just seem to be diminishing. So I'm saying Richard Sherman, stay away from him. Jason Verrett.
Consultant.
Oh, say that again, Crypto?
I'd hire him as a consultant. Sherman?
Oh, yeah, dude. Sherman could be my DB coach any day of the week. I would love to have Richard. Yeah.
I don't think he'd want the time frame or the time schedule of a coach, but I definitely would, get some input. Let's have you around, teach these guys some things.
Yeah. My next guy I'm staying away from, Jason Verrett. Okay, I know he had a good season with the Niners a couple years ago, but I mean, he gets injured every year, it feels like. So I'm staying away from Jason Verrett. I'm sorry about that. And then a couple other mediocre players who I just don't really think are very good. Kyle Rudolph. I'm not a Rudolph guy. And also Sonny Michel. Sonny Michel, when he was drafted ahead of Nick Chubb coming out of Georgia, my jaw dropped. Because to me, and this was Belichick making the pick, I was like, what the hell are you doing, Belichick? Are we watching the same players? Like, Nick Chubb just looked like the more talented runner at Georgia. And Belichick decided differently, and it was a bad choice. Sorry, Bill. As far as the gotta pay guys, Stephon Gilmore's been touched on. I mean, the guy was a defensive player of the year in 2019, the top player on the defensive side of the ball. But I got a D tackle who he missed some time last year, but I've always thought he was just a damn good player. And it's Akeem Hicks out in Chicago, or he was out in Chicago. Now he's a free agent. And he's a guy who I would want to bring in just in a rotational basis. I think you can play him, 40% of the snaps. He can stuff the run. He can also get after the quarterback a little bit. So I'm paying Akeem Hicks. Anyone got any pushback on that?
No, I like it.
Yeah,
All
Akeem
right.
Hicks is a dog.
I
If
think
he's
what might,
healthy, yeah.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Crypto. No, you're already going.
Oh, if Akeem Hicks is healthy, I mean, you got a great season in that position. You know what I mean? That guy's always produces. He's you can lean on him. You know what I mean? He's a big dog in the fight. You know what I mean? So if things get real tough at the end of the game, guess who's going to put the team on his back and show everybody how tough you got to play? I would not want to meet him in a back alley when he's pissed off.
Yeah, there are two honorable mentions that I have that I think might be steals based on when they get signed. Is Javien Clowney and Melvin Gordon. And the fact that Clowney, even though he was under the radar last year, he still got 8 sacks. If he goes for like 7 or 8 million, you put him across from a very capable Nick Bosa. A capable other edge. You could be looking at a guy that could completely dominate. And so, or
what are we doing? John Lynch, cut Jimmy Garoppolo right now. Go get Jadeveon Clowney. Go get Stephon Gilmore. I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
I don't think we need Gilmore. I think our corners are pretty good, but I think then Melvin Gordon. I mean, he had over 800 yards last season in split help with Javonte, and the only reason he's gone is the fact that Javante's a stud. I think he could be a number 2 and compete for a number 1 on many teams. If you're looking at a team that might need one, would be the New Orleans Saints, because Kamara's status is up in the air with his off the field issues, and they're a team that needs to win now. And so I would not bet against maybe him signing with a team that's capable like the New Orleans Saints.
Interesting. Hey, why don't we move it to the next topic, right? The NFL draft is coming up. It's in a couple weeks. NFL draft to be rolling around. So why don't we spotlight a player who you guys think is going to be a good player at the NFL level and someone that we should monitor coming into this NFL draft? And why don't we start out with Waruna? Why don't I get Waruna on here?
Now, I checked a few mock drafts from everyone, but I'm surprised that most of these guys doesn't pick a QB at top 10. So that's what they are thinking. So they are thinking that this QB class is really weak, so there will not be any teams picking QBs early. But I believe it would be the other way around. I think Malik Willis probably go in top 5. That's what I do think, because I saw what he did during his pro day. Some of the throws he made, it was remarkable. So he has the talent, I believe, and if he's given the right condition, that he can be successful. And there are teams, for example, what Seahawks are going to do, because Seahawks currently they have the 9th overall pick. Then what about Falcons, Panthers? What are they going to do about quarterback? They have the 6th pick. Then you have, of course, Giants probably will not be. But again, what about Texans? David Mills is solid, but do you really want him to be your franchise quarterback? So I'm really looking forward for Malik Willis. I think he will probably go in top.
Malik Willis, yeah. No, that guy, he's a tantalizing prospect. I mean, you'd want to talk about physical tools with Malik Willis. He's got all the tools, right? He's got the cannon for the arm. And when I'm watching him run, I knew he was mobile, but he's really a dynamic runner with the football. Like, I don't throw out Mike Vick comps very lightly, because I loved Mike Vick growing up. That was my favorite quarterback growing up as a kid, because the 49ers, I mean, sorry, Tim Rattay and Jeff Garcia weren't quite doing it for me, so I had to look elsewhere for good quarterback play. And when I'm watching Malik Willis, I get some of those Mike Vick vibes, mostly from the running ability, because he just seems so dynamic when he takes off.
The good
But
thing
what-
about Malik Willis too is that you get a good guy off the field too. He went to a small Christian university, and I mean, we all saw the video of him giving the goods to the homeless person outside of Indy at the combine. That someone caught him on tape, just pretty much giving away his clothes to that person on the side of the road. So
that was him.
yeah, that was him. So
Yeah.
you're getting a good guy too. And if I know you guys are probably not the biggest fan of Seattle, but you get a similar quarterback in Russell that has you can trust him off the field. You can trust him to be that leader in the locker room. Malik Willis is a really good prospect. I enjoy watching him.
Yeah, hey, John, why don't we stick with you? Do you got an NFL prospect that you want to put out to the spotlight?
Yes, sir. So this is probably going to be a day 2, day 3 guy, probably like round 3, round 4. It's tight end Jelani Woods. He came in at 6'7", 253 pounds, ran a 4.6 and benched 24 reps. So you got a guy who's going to be as close as we've seen to Jimmy Graham, probably in a long time. And it's a young guy that's with speed of 4.6, and that size and that wingspan, I believe, is 82 inches. So if you have a young quarterback and you need a big body target out there that's going to snatch the ball, you can throw him in there. Now, it's going to take him a while, probably about 2-3 years to really become a all-around tight end. But if you're looking for a day one receiving threat that you can just line up outside, kind of like the guy out in Miami or Gesicki, just a guy that's going to be a pure, just oversized slot receiver that's not going to be fair for any safety, linebacker, or any corner that lines up against him. Jelani Woods is that guy. I'm really hoping that we can land him in Dallas because we have a need at tight end, but it sounds like the buzz on him is getting higher and higher and higher. He may have to be a second-round guy, but if he's there in the 3rd or 4th, you're crazy if you don't run him to the podium and grab him.
I've been trying to get him in a lot of my mocks for the Niners, so I mean, he's definitely coming up the draft board for sure.
Yeah, and I haven't really evaluated the tight end, so I appreciate the Jelani Woods. What college is that guy from?
That's going to be Virginia. He's a weird guy because he's wearing number 0 at tight end too. But it's a lot of fun to watch. But he's kind of built like a deer. He had no calf muscles on the guy whatsoever. But he's a big, huge target. I mean, it's just. I remember who was this Deion Sanders? They were saying you never seen calf muscles on a deer. So that's what we want to see. Especially like if you could just imagine a 6'7" slot receiver out there. It's just not fair, especially in the red zone. I'm really hoping he gets in Dallas.
Yeah. Well, hey, why don't we shift it over to Crypto? And who you want to bring to the spotlight, Crypto?
I got 2 of them. So don't worry, I didn't take anybody's flashy players because we're talking about interior offensive linemen. Okay, so I'm cheating. I get to take 2. Tyler Lindenbaum. That guy's going to be a fucking beast.
You took mine.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! I totally
do
it.
What? No worries.
Steal his guy.
Tell you what. Let me
ahead.
just say what I like, and then you give me because I know you went all in depth on the thing, so I'd love to hear everything that you found with him. I just think this guy's going to work in any position anybody throws him in. He can gain a couple pounds, and he can play power in the center as center. He can shave a couple pounds and be great in an outside zone. This guy mauls people. I mean, let me talk about Zion Johnson real quick, and then let Brandon go back and talk about Tyler. Zion, he's only this guy is a freak. Okay, Boston College, so he's a smarty pants. You know what I mean? Did all this. Okay, so his mom made him play football in high school because he didn't think he was an athlete up until that point. All he wanted to do was play golf, be an architect, and some other brainiac shit. Okay. This guy is probably going to be one of the best guards out of this draft, and probably maybe the next couple of years. This guy is smart and he's strong as hell. And he's got a 5.18 40 time, which isn't necessarily good as far as what other people were coming out with in his position, but he's still a big boy. He's at 312. So, I mean, there's not a lot of people at 312 that are moving that fast. So, Brandon, go ahead and talk about Tyler.
Yeah, so Tyler is an interesting thing here. And if you look at statistically, so from 2006 to 16, interior offensive linemen, there were 20 of them taken in the first round. Over 65% of them made at least one Pro Bowl, and over 30% of them made a first-team All-Pro. And so you're looking at a guy who potentially might be drafted in the top 10. And, our most recent gauge of that is Quentin Nelson, who was an all-first team All-Pro already, drafted by the Colts. And so I'm looking at the NFL draft order here, and I think a team with like a young quarterback, and you can kind of create that Peyton Manning, Jeff Saturday situation with them, or with a team that likes to run, is either the Ravens at 14 or the Texans at 13. I wouldn't care if you took him in the top 10, maybe with the Jets, but they have so many needs there. But I think he could be an all-pro within his first year at center. And it's just something that you could have for over a decade, having that quarterback center connection. So I really like him. But as far as like I'm pretty much doing a lot of scouting for the Niners, and a guy that I think that they should trade up for if he drops is going to be Seen. So Lewis Seen out of Georgia. I just really like the way, the safety. I really like the way he flies around the field, not afraid to hit somebody. Crocker really turned me on to him. So I think I like the way he hits. I think he's fluid. I think you can interchange him. And so let me pull up his where he lined up this season. I
know Croc has him higher rated than Kyle Hamilton. When Croc was talking him up, I was like, whoa, Croc's got him ahead of Hamilton, who has been hyped up as this perennial future All-Pro, I feel like, at the safety position.
If people like centers as much, I mean, Tyler Lindenbaum could be an MVP at some point in time, I think. You know what I mean? He'd definitely go to Pro Bowl.
Yeah. So I think Seen, if you're looking at it like slot, he's lined up 118 snaps last season. He lined up 155 in the box and 534 playing center field. So he's very versatile with the Niners. Obviously, we play multiple schemes. Most teams do. And so I think he's very versatile. He's not afraid to crack people. He doesn't have the interception numbers that maybe you would like as a ball hawk safety. But I think that he can do it all. And a team that likes to run a lot of versatile coverages, he could play wherever you need him to play. And I think that if he, for some reason, slips, because safeties aren't really a top position that people like to go after, if he slips into the 45s, I hope that the Niners go out and get him.
I feel you. I would love that, because actually safety is the position that I've kind of been scouting the last few days. And just some of my notes on Lewis Seen, first thing I wrote is, this guy throws his body around. He's violent. Like, the Seen is just coming at you at full speed, and he will pop you. So, Randon, I absolutely know where you're coming from with your Lewis Seen pick. But I'm going to go to pass rusher. And the first, I got 3 pass rushers I want to touch on real quick. I'll keep it brief. But Josh Pascal out of Kentucky, this dude's silky smooth. Like, it felt like I was watching an NFL player go back to college and just dominate. The way he had 5 sacks this past season, which is like, okay, it's not going to wow you 5 sacks, but the dude had 15 tackles for loss. And when you're just watching his tape, Josh Pascal out of Kentucky, the dude is just making the right play at the right time, stuffing the run, harassing quarterbacks. So if you guys haven't checked out Josh Pascal, make sure you look at him. My second pass rusher I want to touch on, Drake Jackson out of USC. This guy's got an array of pass rush moves. You want a guy who's going to get after the quarterback? It's Drake Jackson. Like I said, he's got the array of moves. He's got a spin move that he was doing multiple times, spinning inside, beating guards. He's got the hezzy, right? He'll hit you with the hezzy, get you off balance. Yeah, dude, this guy, Drake Jackson, he's got good hands. Like, when I'm watching pass rushers, I'm looking at the hand usage, right? Because right when that O-lineman tries to punch you, you need a guy who's going to swat the hands away and get to the quarterback. I liked Drake Jackson's hands. And the last pass rusher I want to touch on, and the guy might be my favorite out of the ones I talked about, and he's lower on the list. Like, this guy's going in like the third, fourth round in the mocks that I'm seeing, and it's Sam Williams out of Ole Miss. I really like this guy, Sam Williams. He's big, he's physical. He ran a 4.46, and the dude's a D end. Like, that's just insane. Also has the really good hands. Like I said, that's kind of what I'm looking at when I'm evaluating, the pass rushers. So those are the three guys that I really like out of this pass rushing class, headlined by Sam Williams, who I think is way too low on the list that I was looking at. I think he's like a first-round talent who's going in the third or fourth round.
Yeah, just to kind of touch on Sam Williams, this is a guy that Dallas has been huge on here lately. I think he's coming for a pro day visit with us as well.
Shit. Come on, John.
And if you
Dallas better not take my guy.
If you look at him, Mike, there's no kidding. If you look at his picture, he looks like Michael Parsons' twin brother. They look identical together. They tested the similar. Their body types are the same. They're going to attack the ball the same way. The issue with Sam Williams is he had some off-field stuff. That, and of course, that's a Dallas staple. But there's some off-field stuff.
And that's the 49ers. Nope.
So
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Draft Sam Williams, all right? The dude, and I knew about the background. The charges were dropped, okay? I'm tired of passing. Yeah, we whiffed with Reuben Foster. It was a bad pick. That guy was a nutcase. But I think we have the veteran leadership in the locker room that we could get a player like Sam Williams back on track. And I'm looking at on the field, okay? On the field, the dude's a fucking baller. Take Sam Williams.
He's a
if
top
you're okay,
20.
obviously, if you're okay with the offense.
I think I found the 49ers safety, or not safety, but center. Donovan West. He's out of Arizona State, so you're talking about Herm Edwards, John Lynch connection. He's essentially a young Mac. He's like, his arms are a little too short. He's really good at getting outside though. Like, he's really good. He's day 3, or not day, but he's around 3 or 4. So I'm pretty sure that might be where they're looking to pick. And he's also played guard and he's a center. So I was kind of doing some research, and then I found him, and I was like, oh, he's right in the cheap area where I think they might, if they need someone to play. So Donovan West at Arizona State.
And that's kind of the book that's been put on Linderbaugh and Zion Johnson right now too, is that they're both undersized. I think Linderbaugh has his arm length is like the 1 percentile, so it's pretty bad as far as what you're looking for in that position. It may be higher than that. I'm just kind of off the top of my head, I've heard that.
Yeah.
When you're looking at his skill, and his ability to in that zone running game that you guys perfected out there with Shanahan, it's perfect for that as far as getting outside, getting to that second level. He was a college high school wrestler, I believe. So he's going to be a beast wherever he goes. But it's those
some scouts try to overthink things. There were scouts coming out last year saying that they didn't want to draft Creed Humphrey because he was a left-handed center.
Perfect example.
And you're like, stay out of your brain. Like, the guy mauls for all, like, his entire collegiate career in a big conference. He didn't need his alligator arms. Didn't matter.
It doesn't matter what you have. It's what you do with what you have that is the factor. You know what I mean?
That's what I tell my girl all the time. Okay, why don't we keep it moving to the next
but the
topic?
oral's really good.
We're gonna do our way too early NFC Division winners. All right, and let's see. Why don't we go around? Let's start off with the NFC West. All right, and why don't we go around and pick division winners for the NFC West? And let's see, Randon. Why don't you kick us off, man?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams. I just think the fact that they're the most proven quarterback commodity, and it's a quarterback-driven league. Cooper Kupp reigning, best wide receiver in the league. You also getting Allen Robinson for relatively cheap, and he had, over 1,000 yards multiple seasons. He's going to be utilized a lot better than what Fields did for that team. Cam Akers another year of being healthy, even though I haven't been too impressed with what he brought to the table last season. But again, that was fresh off an injury. They lost quite a bit of players, but when you have the best quarterback in the division, or at least, based off of what we saw last year, you got to kind of pick them to start out. And I think they're going to be hot coming in there. And Aaron Donald saying that he's only getting better like wine. And you can't really bet, and you can't really get, he's the best defensive player, in the last decade. And so you got to kind of pick them. And I think the only contender for that team is going to be the Niners, and that's going to be based off of how Trey Lance plays.
Waruna, NFC West.
I'll pick Rams, and probably the team that will keep the challenge to them would be the Cardinals. Yes, they will follow, but still, because I expect 49ers to struggle one way or other, meaning that even if they are plays for some weird reason, if Jimmy Garoppolo stays and starts the season, because I believe this is going to be a tough season to play around, given the schedule that 49ers have in NFC West, plus Tampa, as well as Dolphins. So it's going to be a tough season for us. So probably Rams will have it easy. I don't think we can expect to just destroy them 2-0 in the regular season as we used to do. So it should be that.
Crypto. NFC West. Who you picking?
49ers all day. Let's do this. Everybody else picked mine with the Rams. I don't know what else I'm going to say that they didn't cover. So 49ers. Okay, Trey Lance is going to come in under center. He's going to kick everybody's ass. Seahawks are going to suck finally. Thank God we're going to be able to finally get some wins up there and in our own home place. Cardinals, they're going to be so bewildered from all this Kyler Murray bullshit that they're not going to know what to do. Yeah, I think 49ers, even though they got this Jimmy Garoppolo bull crap. Yeah.
I see you. I know, Ryan. You're going after Jed York. The other sign saying unextend John Lynch. You got a major beef with the ownership and the front office.
Yeah.
From what it looks like. Yeah.
Pull up at me, bro. I'm just saying. Jed York, you need to learn some things from your uncle. Like, he needs to take you over his lap and use the paddle and teach you some things because you didn't learn, okay? Like, and John Lynch, the reason why I'm mad at you is because you're too chicken shit to do something about it. Okay?
Oh, I see that. Ryan's calling him out. Hey, John, and so now we got an unbiased opinion because, you know, we're 49er fans, but we got John coming in from Texas. What are you thinking about the NFC West?
Definitely don't want to ruffle any feathers, but I'm going to have to lean with Randall with the Rams. I mean, you got McVay. He just seems to have a well-oiled machine out there. Now you got Stafford there. Now, the thing with Stafford is that he's kind of a loose cannon sometimes. He did have some games where he completely imploded. So there is a chance that division can be a lot closer than what we're seeing, especially if Trey Lance is the guy that we're expecting him to be. And Eli Mitchell takes over his second year and just turns into a beast within the running game. But right now you have to lean towards the Rams, especially with them getting Allen Robinson. It seems like they just got better. There was a chance there that Aaron Donald wasn't going to come back. McVay was going to retire, and it looked like it was going to be completely different. But I'm going to have to just go with the proven commodity with the Rams. But I am actually a pretty big 49ers fan myself and want to see y'all do well.
Love that last message.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that too.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going 49ers. I'm rocking with my squad. I know who my audience is. I can't pick against my squad, right? I don't want to ruffle any feathers within my own community. No, but I'm going with the Niners, especially, man. I think Trey Lance is going to be such an upgrade at the quarterback position. And it's like, well, hopefully they fucking play the kid. I mean, shit, we're not even sure about that. But I'm going with the 49ers because I think there's a legitimate chance that the 49ers can make it happen. And I mean, the injury bug, it can bite anybody, man. The Rams, we don't wish injuries upon anybody, even our enemies. But, you know, a player or two goes down because that Rams roster is really top heavy. So, you know, if they lose a player or two, absolutely 49ers can come in and win this division.
The right player or two. Yeah.
But we got to keep it moving. Open. We got to keep it moving because we got three other divisions, fellas. And why don't we go hit up Jonathan's NFC East? And in fact, let's let John lead it off. I have a feeling I kind of know where he's going to go with this one. But NFC East, who's going to win this division, John?
Yeah, I feel like your hunch is correct that for sure I'm going with Dallas, but not so much being a homer. Just the rest of the division seems to be in disarray right now. Carson Wentz is back. I don't know if people realize that, but he's back, and he's wearing a Washington Letterman looking like a
Does that strike fear into your heart, John,
I mean,
seeing Carson Wentz back?
I am very scared that one of my DBs may get injured catching those interceptions. I don't want that to happen. But, I mean, Carson Wentz, I'm a big fan of Jalen Hurts, actually. I want to see the kid do well, but he hasn't – when you're comparing him to Dak, you got to lean Dak as far as what you've seen on the field so far. And then the Giants, I mean – I'm a big Dabo guy, so I'm thinking he may be able to do something with that roster. He has some talent in the weapons there, but Daniel Jones is he's Carson. He may be a worse Carson Wentz. I don't know, Kim. I can't agree with that. But Giants, they have some talent. They do have that talent, but it seems like the team got worse. I'm a big Dayball guy, but just looking at what happened last year and looking at the talent on the rosters, especially at the quarterback position, which is the most important, you got to go with Dallas in this one.
Well, why don't we kick it to Crypto?
So I just wanted to talk about the Giants real quick. Their best quarterback is only good because he fell into 2 Super Bowl wins. They, as a team, just need to give up. Pack your shit to a different state, change your name, change your colors. You suck, okay? Try and rebrand, wipe the dirt off somehow. I think the Cowboys got this division. I'd love to see the Eagles do something. I like Jalen Hurts too. I haven't seen anything from him. The Cowboys are the only one in this league who has any sort of success that you can look back on and see any type of success that you can repeat. Okay, the Eagles, it's been hit and miss. Same thing, even with the Cowboys, some of their stuff has been hit and miss. But most of the stuff you can say, hey, they can do this, hey, they can do that. There's certain people, can get an interception every game. You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things. Cowboys got this.
Man, Cowboys got it. Let's hear what Varun has got to say, man. It better not be no clean sweep Dallas Cowboys.
No, I'll go with Cowboys, not because of Cowboys being great, especially after last year. I'm disappointed.
Your coach sucks. Sorry.
Cowboys suck after what I saw last
Yeah.
Again, no disrespect, because the first week, the team that turned up to that Thursday night football games against the defending champions, that was a team. That was a team had balls. But that team eventually faded away. When they played 49ers, that team was bunch of, you just figure out the rest of the sentence, right? So that's why. But still, that division isn't good enough so that I'm still picking Cowboys. But I will believe in Cowboys if they show me that they can play the same way that they started last year until end of the season, maybe at least deep playoff run, getting to the championship game. Then I will start believing in Cowboys. But until then, I'm not believing them as a contender, but still they can win the division.
Their first
Yeah, because it's the NFC
year.
least. It's the NFC least. So it's like, even if the Cowboys win it, John, don't feel too good about yourself. All right, because like I said, it's the NFC least. But
I'm going with the redheaded stepchild of the division to play some devil's advocate with the Washington Commanders over there. And this is why. And I think that you look at Dallas Cowboys lost their best wide receiver. Yes, Amari Cooper was their best wide receiver. And they lost Cedric Wilson, their number 3 wide receiver. Zeke is getting older. I know they have Pollard there. If they're not if Diggs can't recreate the turnover machine that he was, and he's just a liability in yardage, that team's going to be pretty awful, and they're not going to be able to come back in games. Obviously, they can draft a wide receiver and be the number 2 to CeeDee Lamb, but you look at Washington had a number 1 defense 2 years ago. Do they get back up there? Yes, Carson Wentz is an upgrade over Heineke, and I arguably think they have the best wide receiver in the division in Terry McLaurin, who had similar stats to CeeDee Lamb with Tyler Heineke last season. They also had Logan Thomas, who was injured most of the season, and Antonio Gibson is a beast of a back. And if Washington drafts that Lindenbaum guy to play center or gets a good a day 1 starter, that division isn't the greatest. And I think that they can, as much as people want to make fun of Carson Wentz, only had 6 interceptions last year. Yeah, he threw a lot of hospital balls that should have been picked off, but shoulda, coulda, woulda doesn't really count for stats in this league. And I think that they could take that division. Ultimately, I think it's the Cowboys division to lose, but I'm fine with a little devil's advocate in this forum here.
Hey, great minds think alike, Randy, because I'm going Commanders as well. I'm going Commanders for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned. The defense, they're going to need Chase Young to come back fully healthy. I don't know if he's going to be ready for week 1. I believe he tore the ACL kind of like towards the middle portion of the season. So they're absolutely going to need Chase Young back playing at a star level, because I think he's a potentially star caliber pass rusher. And, they got De'Aaron Payne. We know the defensive line is good. And Carson Wentz is an upgrade. I mean, Taylor Heineke had him in contention. Taylor Heineke had Jonathan spooked last season. And now they've upgraded at the quarterback position with Carson Wentz.
And what was the Colts before that? You want to put money on this?
Like Randon, I'm rolling with the Commanders and Ron Rivera. Do it for Ron, man.
I love Ron.
Let's keep it moving. We still got 2 more divisions. Fellas. NFC North, and I'm going to start off with this one. Man, Minnesota, man. I got to go with Aaron Rodgers. I'm going with the Packers to win the NFC North. Even though they lost Devontae Adams, I feel like they're kind of void of some weapons. They got to get another weapon in this draft somehow. But I'm rolling with the Packers, and let's hear who Aruna thinks is going to win this NFC North.
Yeah, I think it's Packers as long as you have Aaron Rodgers, because it doesn't matter whether Adams is there or not, but still they can find some. Because last season, there were games that Adams was not available, but they still won. And if you remember the week 3 game against 49ers, we were so over the top thinking, so arrogant, 49er fans, to be honest. Thought that, okay, Packers are going to lose by a big margin. But it wasn't to be. What was the difference? Aaron Rodgers. So, yes, they won that play. They lost the playoff game, but still, I think Rodgers is far more capable winning that division.
Let's see if Rando's going to kind of buck the trend again here. Who you got, NFC North?
The Purple Eaters, baby. Let's go Vikings. I think the best mind meld ever in the history of football, or at least that I've been watching, has been Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. They seem to have a Wi-Fi headset in their helmets about what they're going to do. They continue to win games, but I think the fact that Kirk Cousins is capable, Jefferson seems to be on a class of his own, and this league is a passing league. And you saw everybody mock Cincinnati for taking Chase over Penei Sewell, and look what happened there. And so it's a wide receiver driven league now with how much they pass. And Jefferson's one of the best in the game. They also have a great one. I think Madison's still on that team, but they have a great 1-2 punch at running back. If they can clear up the defensive woes and maybe help the offensive line a little bit with this draft, they can definitely make some headway in there. It's the Packers division to lose. It always has been. But they didn't get him any weapons, and who's to say a rookie wide receiver is going to be that thing that they need, which means now Aaron Rodgers is going to have to do more on his own than they had to in previous seasons. They lost their best pass rusher. And so I think it's their division to lose, just like the Cowboys, but I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota makes some headway.
And the Vikings, they added Zadarius Smith. So they added another pass rusher who's good. He had the back injury last year, but if he can come back from that, that's definitely going to bolster the Vikings pass rush. Who did we get to Jonathan on this one?
No, sir. So I'll go ahead and get back on track to where it's supposed to be. So it's going to be the Packers. They did lose Devontae Adams, but like Aruna said, there were a couple of games there where Devontae wasn't playing and they still won those games. I think a name that we're overlooking is A.J. Dillon. He came on so strong at the end of last year whenever Aaron Jones got hurt. And
that dude's a beast, dude. He's got tree trunks for legs.
He showed.
Yeah, but does he run 9 routes? No, he doesn't. So.
That's the thing. He doesn't have to run 9 routes.
Hey, and Valdez Scantling's gone too. I kind of just processed that one. So it's like their number 1 and number 2 wide receivers are off the team.
And their tight end got injured in like week 9, so he's not going to be ready for week 1 either.
And it's hard to call MVS their number 2 receiver because I think Lazard was number 2 there, and they drafted a kid that was Amari Rogers last year too, so he'll be going to his second
year.
But
where was he? I didn't even see Amari Rogers at all last year.
Because he remember when Aaron Rodgers wanted Randall Cobb to come in and play his 2 plays, so I think they gave Randall Cobb a little preferential treatment over the kid. But I think the kid's going to do good next year. But just kind of going back to A.J. Dillon, I feel like he's going to be the motor that runs that team, kind of the King Henry of that team, because there were games last year where they handed him the ball like 28, 30 times, and he was just breaking off big runs. And he's an actual threat in the passing game, too. You can dump him off, and which safety, what linebacker or corner wants to see that guy out in open space. So I think that they're going to lean on him and then have their play-action game with Aaron Rodgers. Is going back to the Packers. And then Rashawn Gary actually paid off for him last year. I think he was one of PFF's highest graded defenders last year too. So they got it going in the right direction. They got the kid Rashawn Douglas, came out of nowhere last year. I think I'm saying his name right. And he won a couple games from the cornerback position. So I think that I'm not a Rodgers guy. You can ask anyone who knows me, but I think the Packers are going to pretty much have that one in hand again.
Hey, John, why don't we stick with you to kind of round out the NFC, right? Because I think everyone touched on the NFC North. So let's go down to the NFC South. Obviously, it's got the Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Bucks.
Another one that pains me because I'm not a big Brady guy, but Tampa has this division. With Brady coming back, it's going to be wash, rinse, repeat for them. It doesn't matter how many of those receivers go down. It doesn't matter how long Gronkowski holds out, and he's going to come back, and it's going to have that same production again. When you look at that division, the other teams, I don't know what they're quite scoring through their heads. I know the Saints right now, I think they have a problem with a Taysom Hill problem. I'm not sure why he's still on the team. Maybe Jameis comes back and he's a guy that can lead them to some wins, but I just think the rest of that division is kind of void of talent right now. And Tampa should have an easy stroll back into the playoff contention.
Atlanta Falcons are not going to win the division. They're not going to win the division. I'm going Tampa Bay Bucks, and they got Tom Brady. Let's hear who Waruna's got to say.
I'd go with Bucks because that's the easiest one. But there's one thing. This shows how, I wouldn't say terrible, but NFC overall is weak compared to AFC. Because AFC, if we decided to go with AFC today, it would be really difficult to pick a winner. We would have different winners. But NFC overall, it's weak. So that might be the chance for Trey Lance.
Okay. All right. Randon, who you thinking?
I think it's the Bucks, but let's throw out this scenario here in our Jimmy W gets traded to Carolina. So you're looking at Jimmy gets traded to Carolina. He leads them in CMC.
Are they better at that point? Or
hey,
what?
Are you on the screen over there? No. So just drink your beer and shut your mouth. So no, Carolina, I think they had a good defense last season. For most of the majority of the season, if CMC can stay healthy, he's obviously the motor for that team, which is a big if. And if they get a comparable quarterback, a guy that is just average, because Sam Darnold was not, then they have a chance to make some waves in that division. So I mean, he's they're one of the last trade destinations in the league for Jimmy Garoppolo. And so if that happens, that's a hypothetical. As the roster stand now, it's the Bucks because you can't bet against Brady. So,
Crypto, now it's your turn.
Bucks.
Enough said.
I think this next topic is going to be the good one too.
I'm not coming with hypotheticals. This is bullshit. I'm just joking, Brandon. Love you.
No, I'm with you. Hey, we're going to stick with you, Crypto. And the next topic is the quarterback catapult. Which quarterback is going to catapult themselves up the QB rankings? Maybe they had kind of a lackluster season this past year, but you think they're going to improve? They're going to come on strong? Who's going to catapult themselves up the QB rankings after this next season?
I'd say Matt Ryan.
Ooh, I like that.
Just because he goes from such a meek situation to a situation that's kind of popping and is low key, either low key a great team or is a great team. You know what I mean? One or the other. You know what I mean? Or they could be faking it, but I don't think that's the case over there. So I think it's Matt Ryan.
I think that's very possible, especially due to the fact he's going from one of the worst offensive lines in the Atlanta Falcons to one of the better offensive lines over there in Indianapolis. So he's going to have more time to throw. Michael Pittman's a good weapon. I've always been a Michael Pittman fan. They got, Jonathan Taylor. They're going to be run-based. We know that. But absolutely.
And you're talking about offensive line. That's when he's been good, is all those years that he had one of those great offensive lines in front of him, because it gives him time to be able to make good decisions and make great throws like he can. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you, I think turnaround percentage-wise, I think he's got the highest average turnaround.
No, I like that. And why don't we go to Randon? This was your topic, Randon, so I don't want anyone sniping your guys. Who's going to be that quarterback?
Matt Ryan. I'm just kidding. I had Tua. So I think the fact that with all the weapons that he added, Hill, Waddle's, going to be there another year. You're going to have McDaniel. I think you have two wide receivers that can run out of the backfield, like on sweeps and catch and runs after the catch. He's surprisingly a better deep ball thrower than people give him credit for. I talked to a Dolphins guy on my channel at Cerberus Sports about Tua working on his arm strength, because he's another year removed from the hip. So he's been working on that to throw the deep ball to Tyreek Hill. They invested in offensive line to not have the worst offensive line in football. And they got the Maserati and Mozart to help with the run game. I think overall, they've given him every opportunity to succeed. And I think that the Dolphins maybe not win the divisions, because I think, Josh Allen's probably, in my opinion, the best quarterback in football right now. And so you're looking at but a contention for the wild card, because they rambled off 7 or 8 straight to almost end the season with Tua and that meager offense. And I think that they can do a lot better this season with how loaded they are.
And if they can get the run game going, that's going to help out a ton, because we know the Dolphins, the run game was absolutely awful last year. But now you got Mike McDaniel, who's been known in the 49er community as this kind of run game specialist. So you would figure that's going to help out Tua a ton.
Yeah. I don't think Gaskin's as bad as people say he is. I think that offensive line was pretty horrible. So you have a decent 1-2 punch with Gaskin and Maserati, who both can catch the football out of the backfield, and it kind of gives you a little 1-2 punch there. And they might have the best 1-2 punch as far as wide receivers in the entire league with Tyreek Hill and Waddle.
And I think McDaniel's going to be a little more riskier than Kyle is. You know what I mean? So I think you're going to see him taking those shots, you know what I mean, and using that play action to his advantage more so than Kyle has shown with Jimmy Garoppolo. So I think it's a lot of chance where that run game can help him actually better his stats a lot better, because everybody's thinking run and he's getting passed.
Yeah, I think the only thing is that it's unknown is that McDaniel's never called plays at a professional level. And so how long is that going to take him to get his stride? Will he ever get his stride? Will he have the balls that Ryan is thinking that he will, when it's 4th down in a big game, is he going to be able to call those things? He's fully embraced Tua the way a head coach should. And so I think that he has every opportunity to succeed next season.
Jonathan, who's going to be that quarterback that's going to catapult themselves up the QB rankings?
All right, so I was looking for a guy that was in the bottom 15 of the league, and I was kind of looking through it. He might be towards the bottom in the 20s. It's someone that we haven't really thought about here lately, is Marcus Mariota.
Hell no, to the no, 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 yeah, to the no.
I got you.
I just had that one in my back pocket for a while. I had to release it.
Yeah, you're not a big Atlanta guy. But Marcus Mariota, I can see him getting buddied back up with Arthur Smith. We'll see what Arthur Smith did with Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee. He took a guy that was a first-round guy that everyone thought was over after he left Miami, gave him a situation where he was able to lean on Derrick Henry, lean on the pass action game, lean on his legs. And I think Mariota is a carbon copy of Tannehill. So if he gets to that offense, he has Kyle Pitts and he has Cordell Patterson, which those are pretty much his only two weapons there right now. We got to be honest about that. But he can have a chance, especially in that weak division. Ryan just touched on it. The NFC is kind of weak right now. And you have, 7 teams making the playoffs, and Atlanta can sneak into that 7th spot. They're definitely not going to take the division from Tampa. But if Mariota can use his legs the way we saw him use them in Vegas, there was a game where Derek Carr went down and they played the Chargers. I think he had 9 rushes for 88 yards and a touchdown that game and about 225 yards in a passing touchdown. He looked like Oregon Mariota. So if he still has that ability in him where he can average 10 yards a carry, and he just may pull it off in Atlanta and become not an elite guy, but definitely into that top 15, top 10 conversation if he has some spectacular highlights.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no.
Hey, you know what? While Atlanta's the topic, I mean, how do you guys feel about Calvin Ridley, right? Okay, so you can't play, right? Your mental's not right. I respect that. But then you're going to go gamble on games? Like, come on, dude. What the hell's going on there?
Yeah, I think it's just don't use your own handle, buddy. Like have your brother gamble for you. Like I mean, I don't know. It's just sometimes I don't get athletes like, the athletes that get suspended for gambling or get a DUI. Like you're a millionaire. Like why don't you have a driver everywhere you go? Like it makes no sense. Some of these things that happen with these athletes, and you're a millionaire. Like you don't have a guy like whispering in your ear, like how to not blow this opportunity that you have. It just sometimes makes no sense to me.
It may be
you can't pay an Uber driver to drive another Uber driver and then pick up your car and drive it back, and then the Uber driver backs to the other car. You can't pay one of your homeboys. Hey, look, $400. Don't drink tonight. Hey, bartender, $200. Make sure you don't drink tonight.
How you doing, Waruna? You look completely infatuated with this discussion right now.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about Tua, but so okay. Now I can't talk about him. So the guy that I'm going to go with, 2 guys. First one is Jameis Winston. I think he has a chance because even though
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no.
So
sorry.
Even though Sean Payton is not there, I think he has a fair bit of chance because since the division he is in, other than the Tampa Bay, he can have that time. He has done it. He had a 5,000 passing yard season before, so I think he can do it. But the biggest jump I would expect from Derek Carr in this season, probably within top 8, maybe with Devontae.
Yeah, I mean, he's like top 13 already, but you're thinking like he's going to vault himself into like what? Like maybe not tier 1, maybe not with Mahomes and Josh Allen and A-Rod, but maybe into that second tier?
Second tier, I would say within 5 to 8 or maybe 6 to 10, that range he would, because now he has Devontae Adams. Last year, they had so many off-field issues, but he's a true leader. He led his team. They made it to the playoffs while everything was happening. So I think he's going to take it to the next level this season. I believe he has talent. He can do it. He would be the biggest surprise, in terms of all the quarterbacks considered.
Okay. Now it's my turn. I got 2 quarterbacks, all right? The first one I'm rolling with, Waruna knows he's my guy, Zach Wilson.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no.
Somebody cut that fucking button off, all right? All right, Zach Wilson, let me tell you why, all right? Hey, ease up. Let me tell you why, okay? Yeah. He wasn't good last year. Zach Wilson, he was a bottom 5, maybe bottom 3 quarterback, if we're looking at efficiency and just touchdown to interception ratio. But is
this when the Jets give up their first 2-round picks for Deebo Samuel? Is that when he becomes a top?
Whoa, he's got the big screen there, Randon.
Well, let me tell you why. I'm thinking the Jets, they've solidified the offensive line, right? They brought in Laken Tomlinson from my 49ers. Mekhi Becton, former first-round pick, missed the whole fucking year last year. That doesn't help. I think Mekhi Becton's just a phenomenal tackle. I think he's supremely talented. Elijah Vera Tucker's there. So I think the offensive line has been solidified. They still got some weapons. I like Elijah Moore, Corey Davis. But really what I've always liked Zach Wilson and his tools. And something I noticed while he was at BYU, every year he got better. Okay. And that's what I'm expecting from him at the NFL level. That's the reason why I'm picking him to catapult himself up the QB rankings. I think he's just going to continue to get better and better. It might actually be year 3 before he's a good starting quarterback, but I'm expecting a leap next year. And I got one more guy who nobody's hit on before we wrap up this show. And if you guys are watching, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. Okay, man, I should have been reading the chat. My boy Tommy's saying Zach Wilson's a bust. You might be right, but he's my boy.
Tommy.
All right. Then we got, shout out Amin the Dream. Subscribe to Amin's channel. And while we're
Get
talking
him to
about
1,000.
Yeah, get Amin to 1,000. But subscribe to all these guys. The descriptions are the links to their channels are in the description. So go down there, subscribe to all these guys' channels because they're putting out good content. Shout out to Shardal. Let's see what I got for Shardal.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Make sure you like and subscribe. But the last quarterback I wanted to hit on is Trevor Lawrence. All right. Urban Meyer is a shit show. All right. I'm glad he was gone. I knew they set him up to fail as soon as they hired Urban Meyer. Now they got Doug Peterson, who I respect. They brought in Christian Kirk. They brought in Evan Ingram, who I've always kind of liked me some Evan Ingram. So I think they've improved the tight end position. But mostly they got rid of Urban Meyer. And I think Doug Peterson's going to help out Trevor Lawrence. And he's definitely going to improve and catapult himself up the quarterback rankings.
And they're getting ETN back.
Oh,
And he gets his college buddy ETN back.
And did you hear what ETN said today? He said, if there was any season that I could have missed, yes, last season was the best one to choose. Something like that. It was hilarious.
Okay, yeah, I like that. And Swan, I should have mentioned this. We prefaced it. We're talking about guys outside of Lance, because otherwise, even Jonathan was like clamoring for Trey Lance, even though he's a Cowboys fan, right, Jonathan?
This is very true. I think Trey Lance does have an opportunity to be amazing next year, especially, like I say, with the second year of Eli Mitchell back there. I can see a lot of good things happen. Hopefully, y'all hold on to Deebo so that he can have his
Deebo's staying. Deebo's staying.
Add something to Swan. So, Swan, Trey Lance will be the best quarterback who will not play because Jimmy Garoppolo will be the starter.
Kick him out. Kick him out.
Wait,
I gotta
where's the button
say that
now?
again. Say that again, Maruna, one more time.
Trey Lance will be the best quarterback who will not play because Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no.
Hey, that's going to do it for this show. Why don't we go around, let everyone know where they can find your channel or Twitter, whatever you want to promote. Jonathan, I don't know if you got an OnlyFans, you can promote that. Hey, we're not, whatever you want to do. But John, why don't we start out with you?
definitely working on that OnlyFans. And once I have it launched, it'll be probably about $29.99. We can do installments. But
what's the name? Black Chocolate?
Yeah,
what are we doing?
I think that's already taken. I'd like to find another one. But no, I don't have anything to follow or any channels or anything right now. But I just pretty much want to promote positivity. If you see somebody, just point out something good that you like about that person, something positive to say to everybody you come across. Let that
Hey,
be
that's
your
love, Jonathan. Hey, crypto. Hashtag no border sports. Let them know what's up.
You can catch me at Crypto Ryan. Follow No Border Sports on Twitter also. Link in the description. Get Amin the Dream to 1,000, please. Yeah.
Waruna.
Follow me at Varuna on Twitter. Again, from No Border Sports. Get Amin 2,000 subs.
Hashtag no BS.
No BS.
Hey, Randon. Hey, man, I see you putting in work at Cerberus Sports. I was in there. You guys were talking a little NBA. I had to go at you boys because they weren't showing my Warriors enough love. So I had to try to let them know what's up. But I see you working over there at Cerberus. Let them know where to find you.
Yeah, I work 2 things. So Cerberus Sports Talk, get me over 50 subs. And we'll start there. Yeah, do NBA show. We're doing another one on Thursday to do a preview for the playoffs. Yeah, they're big Nets fans over there, but they both played ball in Europe, so they definitely know a lot about the sport, and they have some good connections there. And so quality that. And I also work for Hockey Royalty. Kings just won tonight, so getting closer to getting a playoff spot. So doing a little bit of everything there. Tomorrow night I'll be on with our friend Rob Shue for Between Two Beards.
Yeah, I can't believe you don't have over 50 subs. I mean, like you're way better than us. You know what I mean? Like, please go give him. Go give him.
All of us got relatively new channels. I mean, mine's the oldest. I'm trying to get to 1,000, and I've been around like a year now. But hey, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, and really go in the description and subscribe to each one of these guys' channels because they're all doing really good work. I want to thank you guys for coming on, and you guys have a good night. Cheers. And hey, see you guys next week. All right.
Peace.
You.